that could still be in the conversation if they win the Big Ten.
Right, and I think for them to even make the top 6, really everybody else has to go to hell. And I said this even before, that even if they come back and everybody's undefeated and they walk in and they're 11-1 and they beat all these other teams that were maybe 10-0 or 11-0 at the time that they played them, they still are going to have a tough argument because of this North Dakota State thing getting into the playoffs. I don't see it happening on a best case scenario. And if you do, the argument is probably going to have to be any team is going to have a minimum of 2 losses.
Probably.
And if they're a beloved fan of the media, then they're going to have 3 losses in most cases. And I always see Iowa play their best football when they have something tragic. Vandenberg, broken foot. All right, here we go. We're almost like the Pats again. You look at the Pats and what they're doing. They're missing Brady, and one guy steps up. And the Patriots have the 3 best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And you see Iowa come out, and you see when we start to really tighten the strings for Iowa, they start to play well. They start to come together as a team. They start to make the impossible happen, and then they drop a stupid game.
Northwestern in the Stanzi year, they made the Rose Bowl.
And Northwestern's always scares me because Northwestern always plays this incredibly tough. I don't know what it is with that game, but you look at the Northwestern game, and traditionally outside of this year, you can argue always Iowa State being in that mix. But Northwestern, they always come out and they always come ready to play. And it's like, if you ever played football, the JV games were always the hardest. It was those games that were always way tougher than it seemed like the varsity games were because somebody had something to prove. And it seems like every time Northwestern comes into Iowa or we go there, Northwestern has something to prove against the University of Iowa.